Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 4, Episode 3. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Christopher still holds the highest average woodmancy.
It's Mark, the ancient warrior merchant, back from Boston.
He is back. His glorious return.
Boo.
Yeah, glorious return. You can hear the trumpet
back.
playing.
Go back. Okay. Pretty
yes,
excessive.
we are back as a full squad. Mark took his trip to Boston for the Super Bowl. He had a great trip.
Yeah, took a beating, bet in Philadelphia. I happened to listen to last week's podcast, and I do want to apologize to all my fans out there. They certainly missed me. More than one or a few people said that they had definitely missed me.
Yeah, we took a nosedive in the ratings last week, so we need you.
You know, I was going to say many episodes back, you said the highest rated episode 1, I think it was, which I wasn't on. But we all know that the first episode, there was a lot of people that got on there because they thought it was some porn podcast, hence the word trio.
Oh,
And then we had a lot of listeners, one that they were dyslexic and they thought it was BJ trios.
Oh. They always see the names of who's joining, and they didn't see Mark Merchant. They saw Neil. They said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
but no, Neil did great. Neil did great. He filled in, and it's kind of the last second thing, and he filled in. He did good, and we appreciate him.
I got to say, I listened to the episode, and I can tell you, Lee, if anybody has a hard time sleeping, that is definitely the episode to listen to. I mean, the three things I got out of that episode was, one, Chris is certainly right with the Antonio Brown of the JB Trios. That's definitely Chris. But boy, Neil's love for Mike Henderson. Oh my God. It was just,
I know.
It was getting, I can understand now why Mike Henderson didn't show up last week. He was a little bit nervous with all that love Neil was giving him on the episode.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it.
Henderson didn't show up last week. Knowing that he was bowling Neil, he thought that maybe things would get a little out of hand.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, Neil, he picked him as his number one in the whole league. So maybe you're right. Maybe he didn't want the man love.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, his comment about the Hunt family daughter, Kansas City's owner's daughter, where it said it reminded him of American Pie, good old USA, red, white, and blue.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a bunch of crap. We know what Neil was thinking.
Oh, my God. I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking no American Pie and red, white, and blue.
Some kind of pie.
Yeah.
So last week we had, it's kind of one of those weird weeks where a lot of upsets happened, just like the Super Bowl, I guess. My team won again, which I'm kind of shocked at. We keep winning. We bowled against Team 10, which they've been on a hot streak, and they actually bowled good that night against us. They shot 20-29 against us, but we beat them by 100. So usually when a team shoots 2,000, it's usually a good night for them, but they didn't win. We beat them, and we beat them 36 out of 48. So good. That was good for us. Held our position for first place, shockingly. Team 6 ended up bowling Team 7. That was Ricky's team against the Brady Bunch, against Neil and them. And Neil's team took a pounding. I don't know what happened. Neil subbing in for you last week, Mark. He probably had his worst week that he's had in a while, probably bragging on himself last week. They only ended up winning 9 out of 48 against Ricky's team. So Ricky took 40 out of 48. So I guess all that love he gave to Mike Henderson that night just paid off because Neil's team took a beating.
Damn.
Yeah, okay. I think Mike Henderson was scared. I know Mike is an avid listener, and I think he got scared off listening to Neil.
Oh, that's right. He didn't even bowl that night. It was George.
No.
Larry bowled for him.
Yeah, Larry. I think Neil scared him off with all that love he was giving him.
And another team that kind of found their way again, Team 3, I'd hit that harder, which they had to reclaim their top spot for the I'd hit that name. So they now are called I'd Hit That Harder, since you guys are now I'd Hit That Better. They won 31 out of 48 against Team 2, which we'll talk a little bit about positioning here, but Team 2 is kind of taking a beating here as of late out of several weeks. So that was 31 out of 48 for Team 3.
And Dwayne was solid all night long. I mean,
Yeah,
what was
he bowled good.
30 every game or something?
Yeah, I think he bowled 700 series, but his high game was only 236. So, yeah, he was solid. He won all the brackets. Your team bowled against Kiefer's team, your team, Mark, and you guys split. So, in the Mark beat Mark's picks, I think is that a half? Are we doing half points?
I'd say we give everybody the win.
Oh, the win. Okay, no
problem.
problem.
I say we just give everybody the win.
I'll gladly take a win. I could use it.
I'm telling you, we were lucky to get that tie. We really were.
Who was hot on that pair that night? I don't know if it was Kiefer.
Yeah, it was kind of went back and forth. I mean, Kiefer was strong to start, but then he kind of faded down the stretch. Kyle struggled all night long.
Yeah, I saw that.
I started off pretty bad, but then I had a 250 game in there. Second game was enough to carry total.
Yeah, it looked like my prediction was going to come to fruition when I said that you'd have jet lag last week coming back from Boston, and you started out with 160, 170?
Yeah, and then
you came right back and got that 255.
Yeah, and then David threw a lot of Brooklyn strikes, and it's kind of funny because when you watch David, when he thinks he throws a bad ball, it's right there in the pocket. You know what I mean? Like he throws up his hands like he threw it away, and then it's in the pocket.
Damn. Well, he had a pretty good night, and Ron had a pretty good night. So, but y'all, as the whole group for both teams, y'all bowled pretty much even, and it was a split, 24-24. And then there was Chris's team. Chris,
we don't need to talk about this. We'll go to beat Mark picks. So we have Team 10, the Team 2. Who do you got, Mark?
Yeah, right. So Chris's team didn't bowl that night. They probably should have. They ended up post bowling Friday, so he had to wait to post the scores Friday night at the time of this taping or Sunday evening. But yeah, they bowled Friday evening against Team 4. All of a sudden, the hot Pocket Pounders ended up beating Chris's team 42 out of 48. So it was a good night for them.
But Chris did come to some realization in last week's episode because he did think the Pocket Pounders were going to beat him. So he did go with the Pocket Pounders.
He did.
So he's finally come to realization that the Titanic is sinking rapidly.
But I bowled a 645 series, so
what are you trying to say? That your team didn't show up?
You saw their first game?
Yeah, I
Did
think
you not see their first game?
Yeah, Christian had like a 108 and Brian had 148. But it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
No, I shot 200 game.
But it had 250 to pick them up.
I shouldn't have to.
I mean, Chris was trying to recruit. He's been trying to recruit people. So, but he's come to realization now. The Titanic is sinking.
No, we're not. It's not sinking. It's sunk.
So we asked Chris why his team post bowled that night, or why Chris couldn't show up. What was that reason again?
Well, unlike your wife, my wife wanted a Valentine's night together. Okay, it was Valentine's, so every man who was married or loved their wives took bowling off.
Well, we ended up doing our Valentine's a few nights before, so I knew Tuesday was going to be busy for us, so we picked the earlier night. You picked Valentine's instead of bowling. You chose to skip that night, and so let's hear what 5-star restaurant you guys went to.
We went to Fogo.
What a burger!
What a burger! Yes.
It better be a place that has reservations.
Yeah, reservation for sure. Fogo de Show.
Yeah, right.
It was a great night. And then we went to go see Ant-Man.
Okay.
So you're still newly married. Once you've had a few years under your belt, they're going to be telling you to leave them alone on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this is only his second Valentine's under marriage.
Under marriage, yeah. 10 years of Valentine, 2 years with marriage, though.
It's going to change. You watch.
Yeah, that's why she's still holding on to that hyphenated name.
Yeah.
So standings wise, seems kind of opposite of what we've been doing here since the first half. My team, oddly enough, has not had a losing week since we started the second half. And we're in first. So Joey robbed. Great name. His mom saw the name Tuesday night. She kind of questioned it. So we're at 137 points, 71% winning percentage. And then Brady Bunch is in second, the team that's kind of been wanting to be in first and kind of bragging about being in first, but they took a beating this last week, so they're not in first, they're in second. Pocket Pounders, all of a sudden, getting electric. They were at 112, just 1 point under Brady Bunch at 113. They're in third. Fourth place is I'd Hit That Better is the new and improved I'd Hit That, and that's Mark's team. They're in fourth.
Correct.
They had a few good weeks. They're at 103.
Lame.
So Boyer's Boys is in fifth at 98 points. The two Marks and a spare, which is our new team, Team 10. That's Jerry and Mark Miller and Mark Gates. They are right now at 96 and 96, so they're dead even. I'd Hit That Harder, which is the original I'd Hit That. They're seventh place with 89 points. Richard, we found out, it did not break his leg. He merely sprained it, so he'll be making a return because they definitely need him. They haven't been bowling so good so many weeks, so they're going to be bringing him back hopefully soon. Ricky and the two Mix, 79 points in eighth place. And then the two teams that were in first and second in the first half are at the bottom. The Titanic, Chris's team. Which
No, that's a new team. I've never seen that team last year. That's a new team. New name, new team.
That's formerly the Money Shot.
Nope.
They're at 68 points after the post bowl that happened. And Good Frame Gentlemen have won the whole league. I guess they've decided to take a break because they're in last at 65 points. But Elena swears that they're going to wind up towards the top, towards the end. They just took a couple weeks off, I guess.
Yeah,
Greg said the same as Gary.
They might manage to get ahead of the Titanic, but won't be much after that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. But there you have it. So far, after 4 weeks of bowling, that's our position. So towards the end of the podcast, we'll be doing our new every 4 weeks that we bowl. We're going to do and reset our power rankings. So we'll be thinking of new placements for the top four. So guys, think of who you guys want for your top four towards the end.
No, I think I already got mine. The Pocket Pounders is still running good.
Running good, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, Joey Robb mentioned to me that you owe him a bowling ball.
Yeah, apparently. So I made this bet with him probably like 3 years ago when I got close to beating my first 300 game, the 279 to 297 game y'all all saw. That night, Mark did the whole choking when I messed up. That was about 3 years ago, right? Or 2 years ago?
That was about that, yeah.
That night, I went to Joey because like, oh man, what happened? I'm like, I would never get 300. Like, all right. But he's like, when you do though, you give me that ball, okay? I'm like, okay. When I get 300, Joey, I'll give you that ball. And apparently I made him that deal. And then because knowing me, at that time, I would never get 300. So
you're talking about the one you were doing in practice?
Yeah, it's still 300 though.
It's still a 300, and Chris is damn well proud of that 300. Joey wants that ball so he can throw it in Louisville Lake.
Yeah, so that was the deal. That was the deal. That was
that Ebonite ball you threw.
Yes, it was the arrow by Ebonite. Yep.
He wants to throw it over the bridge.
Yeah, it's going to be an arrow in a different way.
Yeah, so that was the deal. I mean, I didn't believe it 3 years ago.
Well, Chris, we know how you honor your bets. Are you going to give him the ball?
Of course. I told myself when I see him, I give him the ball.
Oh.
I'm just trying not to see him.
That's so kind of like your bet with us and getting in the truck, in Christian's truck.
Yeah, when he brings it, I'll do it.
And we're still waiting on that.
So I hear he's either going to throw it into Louisville Lake or he's going to roll it around the parking lot.
Oh.
I'd like to see him roll it down the parking lot.
There you go. He'll probably aim at Christian's truck. Christian's truck will have a chance to run it over.
Oh my!
We'd have to film that.
No.
Back with another segment of Beat Marks Picks. Well, I did make picks last week, even though Neil was going to cover for me. And the outcome was just as I expected. 3-2 was my record last week, and so wasn't Neil's 3-2. So I think we were okay there. Surprisingly, the last 2 weeks I've been 3-2, but Chris has been 3-2 the last 2 weeks.
Wow. Hey, how about that?
Yes. He's starting to make a move on you, Lee, because your record the last 2 weeks has been 4-6.
Ooh.
So as it stands, we got myself at 13-5, Lee 8-10, Chris 7-11, and our guest finished at 3-2 last week.
Jeez, I'm doing worse than the guest.
Yeah, and I'd be more frightened. Chris is starting to gain ground on you. But really, the swing game last week was that Chris and myself voted against the Titanic, which turned to be the swing vote.
And who did I pick? I picked Chris's team?
Yeah, you and Neil picked Chris's team, and I can tell Chris is now giving up on the Titanic, and he's making the right move. So, in essence, Lee, if I were you, I'd start to panic.
Well, I've been making the mistakes of not picking my own team to win, but I'm going to have more confidence in my team going forward. So I have faith.
That's good.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting week.
So starting it off, we've got Team 10 against Team 2, which these two teams haven't bowled each other yet. And it's going to be interesting to see them bowl each other because the Gates, the two Marks and Jerry have been bowling-wise pretty good.
This spread is Good Frame Gentlemen will be giving 91 pens.
Jeez.
2 marks and a spare.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 2 marks and a spare on this because bowling-wise, they've been bowling good. I know the 2 marks' averages are no longer locked, so this is going to be the first week that they'll use the real average, but it's pretty close to what they've been using for what they have had it when it was locked. But since they've been bowling better than their average, I'm going to pick them this week since Good Frame Gentleman hasn't been really bowling so hot lately. They're due for a win. This is probably going to be it, but I'm still going to go with 2 marks and a spare.
Well, I'm looking at Lee. You become the new Chris for me. Anything that you pick, I'm thinking of going the other direction. I do like Good Frame Gentlemen here. I think that they've been struggling a bit. I think they'll snap out of it. They're not against the wall. They're the first pair. I feel like they'll come out of it. Hopefully, one of the Marks there doesn't wear the house shoes. I don't know if he used the house shoes against you. But I think Good Frame Gentlemen might pull this one out.
We bowled them last week. I think he used his own pair. He didn't use the house pair, which probably was why they lost.
It could be.
So, set on Good Frame Gentlemen because I know their skill level, I know what they're capable of, etc. But now, as Mark said, the 91 pin differential. Is Elena going to bowl? Has he been bowling lately?
Yeah, so far as I know, everybody is supposed to be there on the normal team.
This is 4 against 3.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to bowl and bowling the mid lane, basically. Mid lane. Good Frame Gentlemen had been bowling their average or haven't been winning?
They haven't been winning. They've been bowling near average. Gary has not been up there, but they have been bowling near average.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going for Good Frame Gentlemen.
Oh, okay. You and Mark together.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So next is Mark's team. Team 8. I'd hit that better against Ricky and the 2 Mix, who's Neil's favorite team, which has got Mike Anderson on it.
This here is the biggest spread of the week. 108 pins.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is 108 pins. So this is a 4-on-3 match right here. I almost decided to take Ricky and the 2 Mix, but I am going to go with our team. My hope is that Kyle will snap out of it. He's been struggling a little bit. I think, and I've just been bowling average. Ryan is bowling slightly above average, but I think Kyle's been struggling a bit, but I think he'll snap out of it. Bowling his old partner there, Mike Ensline.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think it might just be enough to snap him out of it. So I will go with, I'd hit that better.
Going for himself.
So I have a little secret. Me and Ron were bowling Friday night. I asked Ron, hey, Ron, where you
What,
shoot?
now, was this after? Did you make that matchup that you had to go do on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Was the bowling after that match?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you had bowled already 6 games, huh?
Yeah. So
Okay.
before that, I asked Ron, hey, Ron, what did you shoot series for Tuesday night? He's like, oh, 650. I'm like, all right. So because I want to stay in the high average, of course. So I bowled 645. I bowled 645, which I opened the 10th frame of the third game.
What'd you do there?
Could have been a 250 game. Could have been. So, but Ron said, yeah, I'm going to keep you wanting that high average because I want it too. So for some reason, he had eager in his voice about wanting to beat me out of that spot. So with that being said, I'm going to go for I hit that better because I feel like Ron's going to keep on shooting great.
Oh, okay. I think that's a good choice. I actually am going with you guys. I'm going to choose I'd hit that better. No, you can't change your picks. I think Mark's jet lag is over with, and I think Ron's going to go for high average, and Kyle had an off week, so I think you guys are going to win. So, and Mark, you should bring back the old secret to bowl against Mike and Mike.
Yeah.
Buy Henderson a couple of shots and buy Ensline a pizza, and I think you'll be all set.
Yeah, I think I might do that. Yep.
Yeah, I saw Mike Ensline during the Super Bowl party. He was having fun. So I think maybe
he was okay. He was there, huh? Okay.
He was there. Yeah. We all had fun that night. So next is Team 5, our good friend, the Titanic, against Team 3, the original I'd Hit That Harder, which is Dwayne and their sub, Trent. There will not be a full squad. It's not known yet when Richardsby's coming back. But Dwayne seems to be holding his own. He bowled highest series last week out of the whole league.
I think Neil hit it right on the head last week. And that's probably the only thing Neil said during the whole episode last week that actually made some sense. He had mentioned how Dwayne had a new ball.
Yeah.
And he felt like he changed his pick at the last minute and said, you know what, I think Dwayne's going to bowl good with that new ball. And he did. Man, he bowled. So I got to say, that was one of the only things that Neil said tonight that made a lot of sense. I mean, no doubt about it. That new ball definitely worked for Dwayne.
Yes, it did. 700 with 236 high game. That means all 3 games are 230 in the 230s. So,
yeah, he could be a battle for high average.
Chris. Yeah, although he's at 200, I think 202 right now. I still think he's going to fight in the end.
Surprisingly, it's only 37 pins.
That Chris is getting?
That Team 3, I'd Hit That Harder is getting 30.
Chris, what did you guys do in the first half that you guys had this magic where you had 10-week dominance of first place? What did you guys do?
I think they bowled blind team.
Oh, that's it. That's right.
No, I believe, this is my theory. This is my cold-hearted, 100% theory.
Cold-hearted.
So I believe when we first started, before they changed the oil pattern 2 weeks ago on Friday, they changed the oil pattern. But before then, I believe that everyone who bowled on JB Trio at the beginning of the season didn't have a good matchup with the oil pattern there, where they had to adjust even harder, they had to play even better, but they wasn't catching up to the oil pattern. So they couldn't throw a good ball, they couldn't string strikes, they couldn't make a good adjustment where they can strike out good. So that gave us a leverage where we could just bowl our normal bowling, still shoot high, still keep the win, and that's it. But then when later in the league, when we started winning barely winning, losing, barely winning, is when people started catching on better, getting used to it, getting more familiarized with it, and then boom, we lost everything.
But it did help that you bowled the blind 3 times.
The only team that bowled him 3 times before it got filled.
Yeah.
Did you say the oral pattern?
The oral.
Oh, the oral.
Well, they changed the oral pattern. The oral pattern. They changed the oral. Oh my God, you got me saying it. They changed the oral pattern.
I think he thinks we're in one of these probe episodes.
No, they changed it about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, they changed it to a lighter, thinner oil, and so that's why you see it so dry. So it's kind of sucky.
That is kind of humorous.
Yeah, you don't like dry oral.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're about to make me throw up. Shut up, please.
So based on all that, who are you picking?
So it's a hard one, man. He didn't come.
It's a hard oral.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I am.
Have faith in your team.
I'm thinking.
No. Be realistic.
I am.
Mark's not going to take this long.
I ain't.
I'm actually going to go with I hit that harder.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
Because I believe that Trent is going to bowl pretty damn good, and Christian's he's going to break.
Oh, dang it. Well, I have faith in Christian. We're playing poker this week, Christian. I know you're going to be hyped up. You're going to have a good week.
But you didn't see him Friday.
Included.
You didn't see him Friday. He lost. He literally his first game just crushed him.
I know. But you know what, Christian? We all have shitty weeks. This is your week, buddy.
Yeah. So who you going with, Lee?
I'm going to go with I'd hit that harder. They've been bowling good. They've pretty much beat every team except just a couple weeks where they were kind of in chaos. Richard not knowing his position. So, but I think they're back on track. I think Dwayne's going to shoot lights out for the rest of the year. He looked unstoppable this past Tuesday. So I'm going with I'd hit that harder.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Every time you say that.
Well, you know what? Based on the dry oral, I'm going with the
Oil.
Titanic. It's oral.
Wait a minute. What?
I'm going to take the Titanic.
No. What?
Yes.
What is going on here? Mark, did you leave something in Boston? What's going on?
No.
Mark, what do you say?
He just got me with the dry oral.
Wait, Mark, what did you say? Who you voting for?
The Titanic.
Wow. If I was betting money, I'd have lost the mortgage. That's
Hey,
crazy.
hey, look it.
That's
Anybody,
crazy.
if you get dirty with me, I go that way.
All right, East Coast. You're down the South,
you're
baby.
voting for my team to win?
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants you to say it again.
Wow.
Wow. I'm
Okay.
shocked. I'm shocked. Well, this next pair, I'm probably going to get shocked to get any votes, but that's my team against the Boyers boys. David Pride, who's my old partner from a couple summers ago, boys, and then Kiefer on the other side, and Patrick. I'm going to have to go with my team. I know they've been struggling a little bit. I know Kiefer, he always bowls good against my team. I remember the last time we bowled them was a couple months ago, and Kiefer was almost in the 700. But we've been bowling good, my team. We actually bowled 21-something this past week, and the week before that, we were close to 2,100 again. So I'm going with my team this week.
Okay. And I'll mention this now that Lee has already made his picks, but I have a little inside information on this match.
Me too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Pride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He's out this
Yeah.
week. Oh, shit. This is the week
And
he
he's
goes on
bring-
golf. He goes on his golfing spree.
And he's bringing his
I was thinking Elena.
son in.
Oh, Jesus. And
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
my God. Of course,
So-
I would happen to be the team that his first week when he goes on his spree that he's got to bring in Andrew. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So I am going with team 9.
Well, I don't blame you. Kiefer and Andrew, they're pretty much going to kill us.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. I'll see you on the battlefield of poker night. All right.
Nice. My pick is going to be interesting. So, my little hint or note is actually going Kiefer.
Oh, okay. So now you have 2 hits. You now know that Andrew's going to be there bowling instead of David.
Yeah. So Kiefer, my vote is for Joey Robb.
Oh, okay. I got 2 votes.
Just say that Kiefer won't be on his game that night.
Okay.
Geez.
That's interesting.
That is not good, Lee.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think I got the kibosh on me now.
Yeah.
What's the spread, by the way? It can't be that much.
Well, the spread was 7 with you guys would be getting 7 with, and that was with Andrew in there, I think.
Oh, was it? That's with Andrew.
Yeah.
I was worried.
Yeah. That was with Andrew.
I was hoping you were going to say that was with David. So, but with Andrew, oh, geez, I was hoping for a bigger spread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'm in trouble.
Well, it might be bigger now if Joey Robb's going to be bowling.
I wish. I might just have to make something happen. So the last
matter of
pair
fact,
we've got
just to mention Joey, he came up to me and wanted me to give him a play-by-play of what happened the last week of the first half.
Oh my God.
And I just said, hey, look, you're better off asking Chris.
I hate y'all. I hate y'all. No, what? This is my last year.
It's no longer
bowling
called
JV
the Greek
Trails.
Church. It's called the Woodmansey.
No, what? This is my last year bowling with JV Trails.
No, you're not supposed to say that.
Well, you've already made your mark.
Yeah,
in many ways.
You left your mark.
I have to move on to Thursdays.
Oh, you're gonna do like Kevin Cobb did. I see how it is.
Yeah. God damn it. No,
Well,
what? I just need to reassess my team management picking.
Well, I think you got a good team. I just think that they had a couple of off weeks.
Yeah, weeks with an S at the end.
All right, be more of a motivator instead of a Coach Parcells type.
No,
or a deflator.
Deflator.
Be an inspiration or instead of a deflator. Yeah.
No, you can't inspire people who don't want to try.
Tell them more about the dry oil.
We had 2 listeners, Christian and Brian, and we lost them a couple weeks ago.
We lost them. That's what happened. I see.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one more pair. We got Team 4, which is Pocket Pounders, who's on a hot streak, against Team 7, which is the Brady Bunch. They're in second, so second and third. What's the spread on this one?
I used George in this spread, okay? So
that's right, because Rick is out. Rick had his surgery. He's doing good, by the way.
Yeah.
Posted on his Facebook page not too long ago. Surgery was a success. He's just getting used to the new hip, but he will be out for the rest of the season. So George is most likely going to be filling in for many of those weeks.
I talked to George after last week, and he said that they didn't ask him to fill in while he was out. He did that night. So I don't know if it's a permanent thing or they just needed him because maybe that other guy that bowled wasn't there.
Oh, that's a good point. Marty, the one that bowls with him, who's who's about a 130 average compared to George, who's a 200 average.
So it makes a big difference. Like this one's 21 pins the Pocket Pounders get. Yeah. And I like the Pocket Pounders with 21 pins, and that's with George. Now, if they bring in the other guy, what's his name? Marty. Yeah, it changes the whole picture drastically. So
it really does.
Yeah, I just got to go on the assumption that they're going to ask George, who's always readily available to bowl.
Yep.
For some reason.
So, yeah, I will take Team 4 here.
It's on 31-32. I know Caden and Logan, if Logan's there, if they don't post bowl. This is all based if they don't post bowl. Okay? If they do not post bowl, it's going to be Brady Bunch all day. Now I just got to see if they're post bowl or not. So I'm going for Brady Bunch because they won't be able to handle how dry it's going to be on 31-32.
Now I can't think of dry in any normal sense now. Every time I hear dry, I'm going to hear dry oil. Okay, so interesting tidbit here. Neil, I think, has bowled so bad last week that he's now going to be leadoff. When they come up next Tuesday, he may have jumped to leadoff, and then Gilbert, he's going to be second, and Jared's in third.
I was going to say, Neil might have bowled so bad because his love of Mike Henderson not being there might have affected his game.
His man love.
Yeah.
Must have been the dry oil. But yeah, I think Neil is going to have a chip on his shoulder being leadoff on the team that he feels should be anchor. I think Neil's going to have a hell of a night that night. Coming in, he's going to have that chip, the dry oil. I think he's going to score big. So I think it's going to be Neil with the victory. So I'm going with Brady Bunch.
Okay.
That wraps it up to picks.
Yeah, it looks like looking at it, there's only one match that was all three of us. And that was, and the rest were kind of split.
Yeah, it's one of those rare weeks where it's only one unanimous. Yeah. I think it was your team, Mark.
My team was the only unanimous. Yes, we're bound to lose.
Probably. The fourth week has been bowled, so we have to reassess our pick for the power rankings. I do remember who I picked for first place was I'd Hit That, and boy, did they give me shit for that.
Yeah, I could tell
Okay.
you, Lee. I got it written down here. You had I'd hit that, Good Frame Gentlemen, and the Boyer Boys.
Let's do it like this. Let's do who all you, because we always do just the top four. Who did we all pick in fourth place?
Okay, so Chris had the Boyer Boys. I had the Brady Bunch, and you had Lee the Boyer Boys because you had team number 10 in third. But you had the Boyer Boys, Chris had the Boyer Boys, and I had Brady Bunch.
I honestly think it's still going to be the Boyers boys because they're like right there. I'm not going off of that, but I'm just saying like it's going to be hard fought because the other three teams are, I think, in my eyes, a little bit better, and they have less distractions. I feel like the boys have a lot of distractions in their mentality.
Yep.
So that's going to be my fourth. And actually, I think my third and second, if I didn't move it, it's going to be different now.
My new fourth place, I'm going to get them off first because they had a slow start, but I'm going to keep them in the top four. I'd hit that harder. The original, I'd hit that. I think Dwayne's going to carry him. I may even change them to a higher spot later on, but yeah, I'm going to go with I'd hit that harder for my fourth.
Okay. I initially had Brady Bunch in fourth, and I'd hit that harder in third. I'm going to end up flip-flopping those. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm going to have, just like you, Lee, I'm going to do I'd hit that harder for fourth.
Okay. And you already told us your third place.
Yeah, and then my third place will obviously be the Brady Bunch. So I'm going to flip those, yeah.
Okay. Chris, why don't you go for third? Who was your third you were saying earlier?
My third is going to be,
Now, his third was I'd hit that.
yes. My third is going to change. So it's actually going to be Joey Robb.
Really? Okay.
Oh, Rob.
First
See, no-
time in our team finally got recognition. How about
Well, I'm sure there's going to be no Titanic in here, right?
that?
Maybe.
Maybe not this week. Maybe in a couple weeks. Maybe. I'm having a debate on either my team or Pocket Pounders because Pocket Pounders has been on a tear. And I think with Rick being out, he was actually their low man, and he actually bowled good before he left.
Yeah.
If George comes in, I think they've got a solid team. Marty's a good bowler, but he hasn't bowled league. He's not used to bowling league. So it does, like Mark said earlier, change the dynamic a lot. I'm going to go with Pocket Pounders for my third place team because I think with George, I think they're going to be really solid.
Okay. Well, let me take this next one again, and I might as well do the first and second because that's not going to change from what I said before. I do like the Pocket Pounders to win first place. I kind of think that hopefully George is the guy. Nothing against Marty, but man, George looked really good last week. And all three of them looked, especially bowling really fast because the Titanic wasn't there. They bowled pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm going Pocket Pounders first, and then I'd hit that better second.
Oh, your own team second. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
actually who I had second.
Who's that?
Go ahead, Chris.
All right. My second is going to be the Pocket Pounders.
Oh, okay. They're getting a lot of love.
Yep.
So you Pocket Pounders with George?
No, Pocket Pounders with any third.
Anybody? Yeah.
Nice.
Third. I think because of that inconsistency third, it's going to make him default from first.
And just to kind of give a little bit of demographic on that team, they got probably the youngest team with Caden and Logan is probably 22, and Caden's I think 20, or at least they're in their early 20s. So they got probably the youngest team. Even if George gets to know he's in his late 40s, early 50s, they'll have one of the younger teams, and they all throw hard. And I think that's what this new shot needs is people that throw on average around 17, 18 miles an hour.
And I like what they did last week when Logan left the 7-pin. Caden shot for it, and when Caden left the 10-pin, Logan shot for it.
Yeah, something like that. Of course, Chris wasn't there to see it.
He wasn't there to see it, though.
My second place, I'm actually going to go ahead and pick. Oh, God. Well, I'll just go through my first and second. It's going to be pretty tight between the Brady Bunch and my own team. I think my team has had a really good start. I know we had a similar start in the first half, but it's going to come down to this week. If my team can hold on to winning this week, And bowling against Andrew is going to be tough. If we somehow hold on, I'm going to pick my team. That's going to be shocking. But I'm going to pick my team to take first.
Damn.
For right now, it'll probably change in a couple weeks, but I'm taking my team for first, and then I'm going to pick Brady Bunch for second.
You sound like Mealy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, here we go.
So
my team in first, and then Brady Bunch in second.
Damn. My first is the Brady Bunch.
Wow,
Still,
your nemesis Neil.
It's still. I said that last time we did this, and it's still gonna be the Brady Bunch. They're still gonna be first.
Wow, we'll have to do a point system and see how many points each team's getting. Like, first place gets like 4 points, and second gets 3 points and stuff like that. We'll see what team winds up with the most points out of all of our picks. Yeah. We'll have to do that maybe on the next 4 weeks. So, yeah, that's interesting. I can't believe it. So, a couple teams, just to point out, I got a lot of love. The Pocket Pounders, a lot of seconds and third place spots for us. And Neil's team sounded like they got a lot of love as well. I'd hit that. Mark's team gave himself some love. I'm probably going to put you guys in my top 4, Mark, if you guys pull it out in the next couple weeks here.
Yeah, it's interesting is Pocket Pounders. I was the only one that said Pocket Pounders, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And now I'm telling you, they're going to be a team to reckon with.
Yeah, especially on this new shot.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe we'll even hear the Titanic crack the top 4 these next few weeks.
You talking about the bottom 4?
Top 4. Maybe 5. I think 5th.
Hopefully we'll get some Titanic love here soon. Come on, Chris, you got to motivate now. Remember, you used to be the number 1 motivator.
No, I quit that.
We'll see. Oh, that's the new team name. I'd quit that.
Yeah, that's probably what you should change the name to.
No, if I told Chris if we win first, we're going to be called the Money Shot, the new Money Shot.
You have to hold it for like 4 weeks, then you can change it.
At least 4.
Make sure you bring that bowling ball down though, because I think Joey's coming down on Tuesday this week, so see him throw a little bit in the parking lot.
You can tell him he used it on the dry oil. All right. So, bowlers of the week last week. My son Leland, who bowled 98 pins over, made bowler of the week. He shot pretty good. I think he had a couple of 200 games in there and had a really good night. He's got a new ball, too, that he's been throwing for the last month or so, and he's finally figuring out how to use it. So, he's been having a good couple of weeks, and definitely a reason that our team is in first. A couple of honorable mentions. Dwayne had 703 that we mentioned earlier, so he bowled really good.
With a new ball?
With a new ball, him as well. And Mike Ensline had 91 pins over his average.
Whoa.
He had a great list of starts, but honorable mention to him, 91 pins over. For the ladies, 2 weeks in a row now, Jury bowled 52 pins over her average. She bowled us that night. Was one of the reasons why that they're doing so good and that they bowled so good that night. She shot good, shot 52 pins over. Now, Chris, you're going to love this.
No, he isn't.
What?
The Woodmansey of the week, you missed it, was our very own Mr. Mark Merchant.
Triumphant return. Is that another $20? That's another $20.
It's tough when you bowl so
255. So he was
That's
Woodmansey
another
of the
$20.
week. So it's 2 weeks.
It's tough when you bowl so well.
What? I did not know this.
You missed it, Chris. We were about to make an announcement that he had second week this year. He may surprise Christian.
Yeah. But I almost was tempted to throw some shots away the second game.
So Mark, what's that mean? You owe me $10 now?
Yeah, but I got $50. It looks like our first higher in the standings bet's probably going to be a wash.
Well, remember I owed you 10, but you told me to.
Yeah, you owe me 10.
50.
Yeah.
So how about now you owe me 10?
Yeah, I'll owe you 10 right now. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Maybe in poker you'll make it up for it.
Yeah, and I seriously have faith that you'll make this list before the year's out.
Are you sure about that? How many weeks do we have left?
Let's see. We were around week 23.
Yeah.
And we got to make up that week. So technically we're going to have 38 weeks of bowling, that 37 of them count. So we got next week will be 14? Week 24. So we got 14 weeks. Yeah. 14 more weeks, so we still got a lot of bowling
14
left.
games, and you honestly think I'm going to get to Woodmansey?
Yeah, I got confidence in you.
And don't you have a high average bet too?
Yes,
Yep.
we do have a high average
That's
bet.
a $20. It's a $20 bet
yeah.
right there.
You don't want to increase that bet, do you?
Nah.
I didn't think so.
So you want to bet again, Mark? If you get again, $20?
$20 for what?
You get Woodmansey Award?
No. I'll bet you Christian might get Woodmansey again for $20.
That'd be $5 if he makes it.
He almost got it on post bowling.
Yeah, he did. He had a 108, and then he he didn't have a good second game. Could have got it. He could have. That'd make $5 for him.
Yeah. So Mark's name's on there twice. God damn. My name nowhere to be found.
You know what though? It's a prestigious list of bowlers. Really. I mean, listen to this. You've got Kiefer, you've got Neil, you've got myself, you got Ron. I mean, it's all the top bowlers in the league.
Wait, I'm not on there.
Oh, he said top bowlers.
Look at you got Gilbert, Gilbert. You know.
Yeah, it is a prestigious list. You got to have at least one good game.
Jared, we got Jared on there. It's all the top bowlers in the league.
Jared had a 300. Yeah, he did. He's going to wind up at the top, I think, bowler Woodmansey of the year because there's nobody that's going to come close to 133 pin difference. 167, 300.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Chris, this is a list you might want to be on.
No, I'm good. I don't feel like dressing up.
He's trying to sell it. That's true.
I don't feel like dressing up as a girl.
Again.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, listeners, for tuning in. I am still yet the highest average in the league. Yes, my team isn't in first, but it's the system is rigged. Just like the NFL is rigged. Bowling is like the WWE. It's all scripted. So tune in for next week, as you know that I still hold the highest average, and beware of the dry oil.
Or you'll be like Chris with the dry oil.
All right, take it easy.
Y'all be safe.
Later.
Bye.